Blog Talk Radio.
No, no, maybe it'll, can't believe how loud that came up.
Well, now I can barely hear
Now I can barely hear it. Well, anyway, welcome to the Mortuary of Shadows. Yeah. Mortuary of Shadows is brought to you by A Poetic Slice of Life, which is a group located on allpoetry.com. Allpoetry.com is a wonderful website kept up by Kevin and his crew. Gives us some place to hang out and write, tell our stories, have some fun. Check it out at www.allpoetry.com. Poetic Slice of Life, like I said, is a group that is owned by my lovely wife, Kay, and the hostess with the mostest, who is sitting next to me. And I am her Wesley, Steven, 76. Today we're going to talk about the Lost Boys, but I'll tell you a little more about that after we enjoy the rest of this song. I'll stop ruining. Slowly turn. In from the cold.
In from the cold. Repeat your field, yeah.
I was told that I was barely heard over the music earlier, so I'll just give a brief synopsis of what I had said. That this is a poetic slice of life group on allpoetry.com. The group is owned by my lovely wife Kay and the hostess with the mostest.
Hello.
Sitting next to me,
Yeah.
and I'm her Wesley. Steven 76. Tonight we are focusing on the movie, arguably the best vampire movie ever made, The Lost Boys. And what you just heard was Cry Little Sister, which was the theme to that movie. A very excellent song, in my opinion. The children's choir in the background definitely gave it an eerie feeling, which, kind of led you right into that movie. We have quotes that everybody wrote to. Anything else I'm missing out? Allpoetry.com. Thanks to Kevin and his crew.
Yeah.
All the poems that we will read tonight, if the author is not here to read them, we have received written permission to read those poems and have them saved away in our files in case we ever need them.
Yeah.
And my lovely wife has something she wishes to share.
Yeah, well, I just want to say to our listeners out there a special thank you because I check our studio every day because we have stuff that we do to get shows updated for, the new week and for the next week and all that other stuff. But I noticed that we had picked up a new country as far as listeners, so that puts us at 16. So I just want to say thank you to all of our listeners out there because right now we have USA, UK, India, Mexico, Australia, Canada, Finland, Ireland, Austria, Slovenia, Japan, Philippines, New Zealand, Zambia, Ghana, and Belgium. And Ghana was the new one that we added yesterday. So I just want to say thank you to all of our listeners out there that are overseas. And I'm pleased that we're adding listeners and pleased to see that some countries are repeat listeners because the UK is number 2 as far as listeners, and India is number 3, and Mexico is number 4 as far as listeners. So thank you for all of our repeat listeners and for everybody who takes part of the shows and listens.
And we'll say hello to Slowly Drying and Jaskaran out there on the board. We know Jaskaran, he's one of our listeners from India.
Yes, he is.
And I know the New Zealand is got to be Tans.
Yeah.
So she might not be listening right now, but she'll listen later, and we'll say, hello, Tans.
Yeah.
All right. So, The Lost Boys.
Yeah. Tell us a little about it before we get to the read.
Tell a little about it?
A little about it.
Okay. Well, a family, a divorcee takes her kids to live with her father in a small town in California that just happens to be infested with vampires. The vampires are like the coolest guys you could ever meet, but I mean they're mean, of course. But
Yeah.
And they try to bring the boys into their fold, but let's just say the boys have other plans. How's that?
Yeah.
I don't want to give the movie away because Jessica hasn't seen it yet, and he wants to watch it, so I don't want to spoil it.
Well, since Jasper's on the board, he is the first one I'm going to get read. And you said you wanted to talk a little about the quote that he chose?
Oh, yeah, I'd like to, so everybody can get a little bit of the context. Slowly said, preach.
Preach?
Preach.
Preach it, brother.
Just to get the context of what the quotes come from is what I was figuring. So, yeah, go ahead and drop his poem.
Yeah.
Because I know he put the quote in his author's notes. And even though I remember it, I just want to make sure I read it perfectly.
Well, I'll read for Jas, but you want to elaborate on the quote itself?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, the quote that Jaskaran wrote to is, kill your brother, you'll feel better. This was spoken by Corey Feldman, who played one of the Frog Brothers, when Corey Haim called him to ask for advice when he found out that his brother was slowly turning into a vampire. And this is what Frog Brother told him, kill your brother, you'll feel better. Take a sharp stake, drive it right through his heart.
Yeah.
And you may read now.
Okay, sorry. Okay. This is by Jaskaran, and this is called kill your brother because I feel better. Oh, no. Okay. There were 2 boys born in one family. One without a face, had to undergo surgery, but got a face everyone abhorred while his brother was a cute boy everyone loved to carry. His condition was pathetic. He was bullied and beaten in school for shaking hands with girls, and at home made to sweep the floors. He was a loner, hence fallen into bad company, but not mine. Splitting one's neck for money, and in the night slept with the whores. It was revenge time. He liked the smell of blood. He would hatch animals to quench his thirst. If not agreeing to fulfill his lust, he would strip girls and sleep with them with force. He had blood on his hands, anger boiling up to steam level. He dragged his brother out of the house, clipped his fingers, cut his nails one by one. He loved to hear his brother's heart-wrenching sounds and had a sledgehammer to his neck and waited for his mother as he watched the blazing flames. After a few minutes, there was a loud shriek heard of his mother, "No," and the road was in a pool of blood.
Excellent read. And I have to say, this is the darkest poem I've ever read from Jask, and he did it very well, and I think he's starting to enjoy the dark rights, so I'm sorry for being a bad influence. But this was basically, to me, a tale of jealousy and anger building up to a terrible climax. I thought this was well done.
Well, yeah, I'm not sure if we're seeing the same thing because, what I see is one brother who's, you know how in every family you have your siblings and you all are different from each other. It's like night and day. I see one sibling who's more on the good side, but I see the other who's more on the dark side with all the cruel actions that are being inflicted upon others. I almost see it as maybe a mercy killing in that person's eyes to spare society from this other person who wants to create harm. Am I seeing that wrong?
Well, I thought it was the bad brother that killed the good brother.
Oh, I did not see that. So, yeah, okay. Well, yeah, that's probably true then. See, when I'm reading, I don't have the capacity to try to absorb it because
Yeah.
I am flitting all over the place here. But I know what I saw. There were certain things as I was reading that stuck out to me as to the characteristics, the character of the one. Yeah, that basically. Well, yeah, okay, I could see that now. The first stanza, about how the one brother was cute and that everybody loved. But he got the face that everyone abhorred.
Yeah.
This definitely was a great take on the prompt itself. I really do feel that. Because no matter what, there is no happy end and there's a lot of pain. And, okay, so, that's another thing, too, in families, especially a sibling. It's very common to be jealous of your sibling.
Yes.
Sometimes, it goes to its own depths of how it is felt, the jealousy. And sometimes the jealousy, it runs very deep where, sometimes love gets lost and other emotions come in and cloud judgment. I thought this was a cool take on the prompt because the thing is with the prompt, there is no right or wrong way. It's just however it speaks to you.
Yeah.
So I definitely, I think this is a great right, Jask, and I'm sorry for getting it wrong in the beginning. But, yeah, I definitely think...
well, you see what you want to, what your mind sees. It's what poetry is all about, is what I'm told. That.
Well, that's true, as long as it's done in good taste.
Right.
Because I've had a few stinkers of comments left on my rights, and it just made me upset instead. So it's got to be done tastefully. And I let Sky in the room.
Hello, Sky.
Hi. I'm giving you a hard time on the board.
I saw that.
How you doing? How you guys doing?
Good.
I don't know how long I'll last. I'm sorry.
Okay. That's all right.
I was
just wanted to say, sorry. You go first.
No, you go first. You go first.
All right. All right. The song that played in the beginning, I didn't give full credit. Gerard McMahon is the guy who sang it.
Yeah. Oh, you looked it up.
I did.
There you go. Did Guy hear? Because she was talking on the board.
Did you hear Jasper Ann's poem?
I didn't, but are you still commenting? Am I the only one here? Because I'll read it and you can come back to me if that's possible.
Well,
okay.
Right now it's just us three.
Just us three.
Oh,
there are more that are.
And hi, Jess.
Yeah, and Slowly Drowning's out there. I don't know if anybody else is. Sometimes Sharon's out there and she hides, so just in case she's out there. Hi, Sharon.
There are lots of us that do hide. But that's okay. But yeah, do you have any afterthoughts on Jess while Sky's reading?
Just, what you said kind of brought more light to it because, of course I had a sister, and I'm not saying that my parents played favorites, but she always seemed to get more than I did.
Well, see, that's the thing. It's kind of hard to be equal with. If you have more than one child, it's very hard to be equal. No matter what a parent says, it's very hard.
Yeah.
If you have just that one child, it's more easier to devote all your time to that one child because once you have more children, your time is divided up, and sometimes you may give more attention to one child versus the other, and it does get noticed, and it creates a conflict. It just happens. Sometimes parents don't mean to.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I know.
I'm ready to
I only
comment.
had James on. Cool.
All right.
I think so. I'm trying to read it, but I don't want to misread it because I'm trying to read quickly. But to me, sometimes this is a very, very dark piece, and the title is kind of misleading because the title has a little humor. I guess there could be a little type of banter in here, but to me, it presents something very dark. With sometimes when there's an abuse in the home, sometimes parents only pick out one child, and I've been what would I want to say? I've known a few different situations with different people, and had and heard their stories, and a lot of times they say that it was just me. It was just me. So to me, the part with he was made to sweep floors, and kind of being singled out, I think spoke of real deep messages, and how that anger and how that displacement and abandonment can lead to violence. So to me, that it speaks very deeply into that matter. I thought it was really well done. I did read it kind of fast, Jess, but I will go back and read it a little bit better. But that's what I got from the surface of the read.
Yeah.
That was. I think we're done with my comment. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good enough for me. I have to agree with what Sky said. So it circles back to what we've been saying about siblings. It's hard.
Are you gonna bring up
To lighten the
Johnny
mood a
now?
little bit, I will tell you
Yeah,
a story
go on.
that I'm the baby, but my brother is the real baby. Even though he's the middle child, he is the baby. It makes me a little angry. I'm always the responsible one, the adult one, and that's my mom's baby, even though I'm the baby. So, to lighten that up a little bit, hear my complaints about my siblings.
All right, Deb says she'll be in about 15 minutes.
Okay, well.
Slowly said she's going to call to read.
Okay, well, is Slowly listening?
Yeah, I messaged Slowly Drowning to let her know she's up next if she wants to give us a call to read.
Okay, and then while I'm waiting for her to call in, I will say that I am the baby as well.
But you're also the most mature of all your siblings.
Yeah.
My dynamic's kind of different. So with my birth mother, who I didn't live with till I was older, and I just visited when I was younger, I am the baby. But with my godmother, whom I called mother, and lived with her solely till I was about 6, and lived with her a lot more than actually my mother altogether. I was the middle. No, I was the baby. But my stepsister had developmental disability. So in the scheme of thing, I really was like the middle. But they didn't live with us for a long time. So her son, who was 14 years older than me, moved out at 16. So for a long time, I was the only. And then my stepsisters came and lived with us, and then I got moved back in the line. So I've been, I think, in every one. So it's kind of weird.
Okay.
What I just said made no sense. It made absolutely no sense because I stumbled over explaining it, but I'll explain it to you someday. It's better.
Okay. Well, we have another caller on the board, and we're wondering if that's slowly drowning.
I can.
Slowly
I can
drowning,
tell. I can tell how bad I explained that by Stephen's reaction. He's like, "Huh."
Am I muted?
No, you're good.
Hello? Area code 801. Is this slowly drowning?
You may not. You might be muted.
Are you muted, maybe?
I don't know.
Because
maybe I scared her off with my random rambling, drowned my.
Well, it says they're still there.
Yeah.
You have 801 in your Bible?
My Bible, 801. Well, usually 801 is Lee, but Lee, he won't call because he hasn't entered the room yet.
Well, maybe try hanging up and call back. Sometimes it's a bad connection. Try that.
Yeah, try. Well, yeah, I'll type on board.
Well, she can hear us, I think.
Okay, well, I'll still type on board. Try hanging up and call him back in.
Yeah. I know it's happened to Crystal a lot where she has to hang up and call back.
Yeah, her phone acts up at times. Or at other times there's other people where they talk, you can barely hear them.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. Okay. So that tells me that was definitely slowly drowning. So let's see if she'll call back in a moment.
And she does maybe redrop her poem.
Yeah.
In there.
Yeah, I know. So we shall see.
Now she said okay on the board, so she might be.
Okay. So okay.
Let's try again.
Let's try this again.
All right.
Hello.
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 Well, we can barely hear you.
Yeah. Oh, Still can't hear. Still can't hear.
Yeah, it's a bad connection.
Yeah. Are you even talking?
Yes,
it's very, very quiet.
I'm so sorry, I'm very quiet.
Yeah, you're barely. I mean, we can hear you, but it's very quiet. Are you trying to be quiet because people are going to sleep?
Yeah, I can't really hear. This is the way the phone call's gonna go. We can't waste all evening on that.
Right. Yeah, I know.
Come up with a resolution here because I can't hear.
Yeah, I know.
Other people can't hear either.
Yeah, I know. Sky, can you hear?
No. Can she hear us? Can she talk on the board? We can't hear you. Is there? You wanna? I don't know if she's still on the board. Maybe try to hang up and call back?
Well, she did that once already. But yeah.
She said she's still here.
Speaking is too soft. We cannot hear what's going on.
Yeah, can you hear us real good or no? Or she can hear us fine, she says. But we can't hear
and
you.
You're talking, and you're, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe try calling back again.
Maybe third time's a charm.
Maybe.
I heard a sound. I heard a sound, but I only one sound. We could do that, can you hear me commercial? You guys know that. What that commercial?
Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? I don't really. That commercial is kind of. I don't know about that.
Yeah, I know. I remember those commercials. But
yeah,
maybe try calling back.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe try putting your phone on speaker.
Be it,
yeah, maybe try to put your phone on speaker or something.
Yeah,
you know what I always do? It's really funny. This is sometimes I put my somewhere in my house. I forget to turn off my Bluetooth headset, so then my phone rings and I go to answer my phone, but I can't hear anything because it's going to my Bluetooth, and I can't figure it out.
Yeah,
I'm not making any offense to anybody, huh?
Oh yeah, you are.
Yeah.
She said that if she puts it on speakerphone, it'll wake her siblings up.
Okay, well then what we need to figure out is moving forward. Does she need a speaker or a reader because we gotta keep on moving.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
I would be happy to read for her if she would like me to read.
Yeah.
Maybe try to.
Might as well.
Talk correctly.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Slowly Drowning. It's just too quiet and nobody would be able to hear you. I know you were probably.
What if you just talk on the phone without the Bluetooth, and it's not on speaker? No. I'm just putting that out there. All right, why don't you just try to shut off your Bluetooth, and then just hold the phone to your ear,
Well, let me disconnect from the Bluetooth.
All right,
should we do
try.
like?
Is this better?
Oh, I can hear you a little bit. Yeah.
I can hear you. Okay.
Did you want to give it a shot?
I could barely hear her though.
Yeah, no, you're trying to be quiet so you don't wake anybody up, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to be quiet so I don't wake anybody up.
Oh, there.
That's loud.
There we
go.
You great
That's good.
now.
Yeah. Take it away. Start reading.
Yeah.
Okay. The poem is called Lady in Red. The air is clouded with a red haze, speckled with plants with curled stems in the cannibalistic fairyland. Pools of acidic red wine bubble close by, just at my trembling feet. I should not have wandered here, for I have left myself behind, and I bemoan my vanishing senses. Not a sound breaks the solid air, the red moonlight sleeping upon my lashes as evening dawns upon me. A solitary groan erupts from nearby, gifting me with frenetic jerks of my head. Drifting through the air, a solemn call is heard. Oh yes, there will be blood tonight. And the solitary scream rises into the air, devoured by the lady in red. End poem.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Oh, wow. I love the imagery that you put in this and all the detail. You have a knack for that in the poems that I've read from you. I really like this a lot. The pools of ascetic red wine bubble close by, just at my trembling feet. Where's the other one? The other one that really... Oh, a solitary groan erupts from nearby, gifting me with frenetic jerks of my head. Oh, yes, there will be blood tonight. That's a quote you wrote, too. This is just awesome. I love the dark imagery. Great job.
Thank you.
Want to get Sky next? Sky, what'd you think?
Oh yeah, I really enjoyed this one. It takes off right with the cannibalistic fairyland. That is very, very dark and creative. I don't know if I would want to go visit there, but I really also really liked, the when you hear red wine, I liked the detail and of bubble, red wine bubble close by. It was interesting and such a dark piece. You wouldn't quite expect the bubble to come up, but it does, and it works really, really nicely. And then there was, so where was it? This part right here. I really, really enjoyed this part. I should not have wandered here. I like how it kind of goes into almost like a third person speaker. But then in that line, it becomes a little bit more personal, where you speak in first person. I should not wander here, and then I thought that the quote at the end, leading the quote that you brought into right before the last line, to almost cement that as if to say this is going to capture the entire right, and that's one line, and you're setting it up with that quote. I thought that was a brilliant way to go, and very, very dark and delicious. Very well done.
Thank you.
What did you think, hon?
Thank you.
I thought this was a great write. It's very dark and foreboding. I like how you end it with the lady in red, and speaking about there will be blood tonight. This is a very powerful write.
Yeah.
And I got a call. Jeff, not Jeff. Raz.
Oh, and Raz is here. Hey, Raz.
Razzleberry.
How you doing, Steve? I thought I'd join you on this show about Lost Boys. I'm looking at Lady in Red. Is she some kind of supernatural monster that we don't usually talk about in folklore? What sounds here is someone who's just roaming around at night and then finally stalked up to the point that they're all covered in red because of the same lady. And that's pretty graphic imagery, slightly horrific, but a good choice of words portraying that very picture by this writer, Slowly Drowning.
Thank you.
There you go. Well, thank you for calling in. I know you got to go because you don't want to wake anybody up. We really appreciate you calling in, though.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. It was quite the honor to actually be here.
We hope you call back again.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
It's always nice to have
Well,
you
would you want me to
on.
read
Watch
another
it all
poem like
over
that?
and over again. Try to stay positive. These are very hard times.
Oh, okay. We've got another reader. That's good.
That's a model for
Well,
us
if you
all,
want me
right?
to read again, I totally will.
Oh, well,
I
what
will
did you want to
gladly
drop?
read again.
Rather than zombie, maybe American Horror Story. That's far less violent.
Yeah,
Hi,
Horror
Raz.
Story comes back next week. Yeah, no problem. I get this one here.
Okay. Did you want?
Yeah. Oh, okay.
All right.
Trying to get there. Okay.
There you go. Did you want to read for Hughes slowly?
Oh, just dropped. She just
Oh,
dropped.
she dropped. Never mind.
Well, we could have Sky read.
Sky, did you want to read for Hughes, please? First, let's see what quote he wrote to.
Now let's see what kind of right this is.
Does not say. Oh, this was a pre-write.
Okay.
So.
Yeah.
Are you ready for me to go? No.
Yes.
Okay. I see zombies in it, so that's exciting to me. What's the difference? By Hughes. What? By Hughes' face?
Hughes' face, yeah.
Yes, thank you. A heartbreaker, an animal slayer, a bully leader, a throat slitter, terrorist, horror painter. Slow it down. You broke her heart. Tease inside, ace maker. Watch the news, you see a suicide bomber. Oh, what a horror, you say. But you just got through with the heart slay. Now tell me, what's the difference? The heart you have broken has died 1,000,000 times over, again and again. What's the difference? You can't bully me. Someone gets bullied. You turned them into zombies, It's like you had a day, night, frightful of zombies. You wake up screaming, but that's what you've turned them. Dead alive, walking corpses. The terrorists did make their blast. The innocent died abruptly in pieces, and the bullied, heartbroken. They are just mortuaries. They've embalmed themselves inside and wait for you to build their tombs so they can rest in peace. Yet you refuse to free their souls. What's the difference? It's all horror. I represent honor. Your choices are yours. And
Excellent read, Sky. What'd you think of it?
I thought it was a good piece. I enjoyed the kind of banter back and forth of what what love, how devastating love can be, and how it could be in itself kind of like a death and a horror. And I think sometimes we do kind of feel zombie-like after going through a heartbreak and emotions like that, because you feel a little bit hollowed and you feel a little bit lethargic and walking around feeling like half of you has died. So I thought it was a unique way of presenting it with the suicide bomber. So well done.
Yeah. What did you think, Raz? I'm sorry. Well, I'm jumping around too.
You're splitting.
That it seems if everything has to be taken literal here, then terrorists are in fact the number one cause for causing world to suffer from demoralization and other kind of psychological stresses. And from there, this narrator chooses that the decision of whether to wallow in that grief or in all these tragedies or try to at least aspire to the occasion to survive is really up to the person while going through the same kind of trials. It's a very good ending to a twist of graphic imagery that might revolve around literal terrorism. Good right from Hughes. Face? 3?
Yeah. I believe it's Hughes' face. I think the 3 is supposed to be a backwards E, I believe. So.
I believe.
Yeah, there's a fellow comment too. Yeah, I actually didn't even catch that until you started talking about it, Sky, that it could be about a suicide bomber, right? I mean, I saw a terrorist in there and all that, but I definitely felt that this was about society in general, with its darkness. But yeah, that last line, "Your choices are yours." It just kind of drives it home, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you think, hon?
Well, I would have to agree with you. I do like that line when you talk about when the author spoke about it's your choice to choose. I forget how you said it, but itself is very true. The decisions you make in life, they are ours to choose, and hopefully you'll choose wisely. But there's a lot of interesting conversation tonight from this, right, as to how it is seen, because I know the right, it definitely speaks in its own manner. This was, the way it starts out, a heartbreaker, an animal slayer, a bully leader, a throat slitter, a terrorist, horror painter. Yeah, that speaks about the ugly side of what man can be. But, in his second stanza, when he talks about slowing it down, then he talks about what it seems like to me is trying to get a better understanding of oneself, trying to look within. But yeah, I could see now after looking at this how Raz and Sky are seeing the viewpoint here.
Mm-hmm.
There's one too many people to be the cause of death or to deliberately seek out death. So terrorism really prevails there in the theme of the poem.
Yeah.
That's very true. I could see now
overall,
what everybody's
psychologically not healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Having that kind of mind state.
Yeah, that's very true. You know, sometimes darkness it's rooted for a lot of different reasons. Sometimes it's birthed because of trauma or it's just there. But there's always an underlying reason for it as to why they want to inflict on somebody else. But yeah, his ending is very true. The choice is yours. We have to choose wisely because it's nobody's right to inflict on man.
Yeah.
Not ever. So, you know, this is very excellent, right?
Now you made me think of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, when they had to choose which one was the Holy Grail.
Oh.
If you drink from the wrong one, you die.
Yeah.
Choose wisely.
Choose wisely.
He chose poorly.
Hey, it happens.
Is that my sister?
I believe it is.
Yeah. Yeah. I was listening.
Bella, Bella, Bella.
Sky, sky, sky.
You know, my sleep schedule, I gotta tell you guys, is not okay right now. I'm like wide awake and it's almost. Remember before when I was like, I can't even, and now I'm wide awake in the middle of the night. This is not okay.
Oh, yeah. We're right there with you. My whole vacation, I was nocturnal, and I haven't been able to get off that schedule. We didn't go to bed till 9 o'clock this morning. We were up all night last night.
Well,
No.
I didn't go to sleep.
Yeah.
I went to sleep around
I went to
noon,
bed.
and I was back up at 2.
Oh my God. I went to bed at 3 in the morning. I woke up at 8 for work. I worked until 6, and then I've been on hanging out with everybody here. So I go to bed.
All right. Where do you want to go, hon? Yeah, I don't. I think 7 a.m. was the earliest we were going to bed my whole vacation.
Something like that. But I still stayed up long after you were sleeping, so I was finishing up stuff. And I'm working on
Sean
getting
Austin's
tired.
in that movie Lost Boys, right? Why you have the mortuary tonight? Sean Austin.
What's that?
Sean
Who is
Austin's
he?
in that movie Lost Boys.
No. Corey Haim, Corey Feldman, Jason Patrick, Kiefer Sutherland.
Yeah.
No, Sean Astin's not
Corey
in
Feldman.
No, but he was in the Goonies.
Corey Feldman
Yeah.
plays some kind of role in which Sean Austin was in the movies once. I think why I cross associate them with Stranger Things. I'm not positive. Corey Feldman?
Yeah. Sean Astin is in Stranger Things. They were both in the Goonies. Sean Astin and
Yeah,
Corey
the
Feldman.
Goonies. There we go. There was that Hollywood role where they were alongside each other once in the past.
Yeah. Well, you should ask Belle if she needs to read one before I.
Well, I was just going to pose that question to everybody if anybody needed to read and run.
No, I don't have
That's
to
not
read
read
and
and
run,
write,
but I,
but read and
You know, I
read
was going to say
or...
I didn't get that option. They never. No one ever gives me that option. Just saying.
Because we want you to stick around, Sky. We don't want you to go.
You're all that
This guy
fan for
has
this show. I mean, I'm not even a backup dancer.
Sky, are you awake? Are you awake,
Yeah,
Sky?
I was tired. I was really tired when I first came on the call, but now I've gotten my second wind. But I asked a question on the board. I can give you guys something as a special treat, but you won't be able to see it. If you would like me to do that, let me know. Otherwise, I will be happy to listen.
Sounds okay.
Sounds fine. We just let Boo in.
I'm waking.
Hello, Boo.
Hi,
Boo.
how are you?
How you doing, Boo?
Hey. Hi, how are you?
Hello, Boo.
She wrote me a round love poem.
The door won't let
Now,
me
baby
in
cake.
earlier.
Boo has won over my heart now, officially. Yeah.
All right,
about time. Sky, you played
How
hard
about
to
me,
get.
Sky? How about me, Sky? I've been
You're
waiting.
gonna have to write me a bad love poem, and then we'll talk about it.
Hey, don't talk about poetry. Now our
That
collab
sounds
has
like
barn.
you're going to rest stops and writing on the bathroom walls. What bad love poems.
We have a collaboration and it's growing barnacles all over. So Sky. Sky.
Where did you want to go?
She's quiet.
Do you have to read and run?
No.
Nah.
No, I don't think so. No.
Okay. Where did you want to go?
Okay, then what I'm going to do is, unless Deb calls in, I will drop Raz down, then have Sky drop hers, then Bella, and Boo if she has anything. But if Deb calls in at some point, then I have to rearrange it.
Right, yeah, 'cause she does have to read and run.
Yeah. So right now, here's Raz's.
All right, Raz, you ready to read? Hey,
Yeah,
that was
I can do my
alliteration.
piece. It's based on more or less B. Pope vamp novel stories, but I subheaded it folklore. And here we go, a turn of habit. Arrived out of the French quarters, city filled squander the swarth marshes to the south, past the piss-poor tollway zones of the I-94 and I-78, sinkhole urban commute routes, and there was Bobby holding her down. The scene macabre, the bad movies warned but only to deaf ears, his all-black trench coat mafia wardrobe reaching a point steering off the road using the usual gears. Jawline crooked, where from the pulp mouth the sharpened teeth glisten and hissing over a young, broad neck. She was paralyzed from salivation, representing an unnatural venom, prostrate on his lap in sexless and strung out decorum. The bra maladjusted because his sides were no more than cattle livestock mutilation to what had taken my brother's untimely death. But the thing before me would certainly, never, in actuality, be him. Outside of drinking on the weekend, no crucial problem with distinguishing wrong or even right stood out, which I could properly predict. A turn of habit. In a moment's notice, the killer who possesses the victim to live out a trance-like state of hypnosis. To prey was real and existence questionable. The irrevocable change, like all fatal movements beyond comprehension, to start and register assessment management. Hopefully, no AA or NA meetings disguise the secret presently, and where else for consultation with the survivor guilt permitted. They said, we all have another side we do not show the world, of Sigmund Freud or Carl Jung, but actual darkness underneath the flagellum and flotsam and potassium dermis would vaguely recur to challenge the Sphinx. If there's an Archangel Michael, or the Watchers on mortality's senseless peril with the devil, this was no sign of being near God bless, and the thought was useless, rubber-darted, and pinned from a fully juiced nail gun on the mind's shred. Approaching the bedroom site, even the framed portrait of Jesus Christ attached to the living room wall would neglect direct recognition, a sin which originally the spirit inside me sensed to be deadly and forbidden. I hesitated, wanting to shout for the man to stop draining off the small piercing to the young lady's neck, an intricate amount of purified fresh blood, and that's when the door shut behind my countenance, a memory withdrew of same measurements. The eyes were colorless and vibrant rose red, luring hypnotically the urge to rationalize what I believed to witness, and vainly persist. There, end poem.
Excellent.
Far too motivated of the fictional kind and urban mythology. Or the line, Brave, the blood-sucking Brady Bunch.
Yeah. Yeah. That quote, just to let everybody know, because anybody who hasn't seen it, I'm trying to let them know what the quotes are, so they're, not out of context. But that was when the head vampire was explaining his plans on incorporating the woman's children with his vampire children and becoming all vampires. To which Corey Feldman said, "Great, the blood-sucking Brady Bunch."
That can be tax deductible, right? If you have a vampire family, there's ways of getting around the system to provide for free realty.
Yep, you're on to the secret. You're on to it.
Okay. Hey,
I
Oak
was
just walked into the
hoping
room.
not, though. Why I wrote my suspicion about AA and AA meetings possibly hiding this for years about Lost Boys. So it's also subheaded folklore. There's no real way of knowing if any of those stories happen to be true. Even Charlie Harris is in True Blood.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, I thought that this was an excellent story poem, Raz. I like the way you took it from like your point of view, the narrator's point of view, and it made me think like towards the end, like he was shit out of luck. I thought the narrator's sense of fight or flight just seemed to have kicked in too late there at the end, and he was toast. But yeah, the imagery that you used.
That was
the
mostly
way you...
brainwashed. You did not see what you see, and nor was your neck bitten too the next day when it spells out to with the folk of vampirism.
That's really cool, man. This is awesome. And congrats on the silver. You were our silver winner.
Thank you very much. I don't usually win silvers.
Only gold?
No, it's just the horses and horseshoes.
You're hilarious, I swear.
Hey, before we get any more comments for you, Raz, we want to welcome Oak into the room. Hello, Oak.
Good evening,
Hey,
everyone.
Hi, Oak.
Sorry I'm late,
Hi.
as usual.
No, that's all right.
No, we're
Doors
not
are still
late.
open.
We're not late. We're just starting.
This
is the after party.
Some of us didn't just wake up there, Bella.
I know. What can I do?
There you go.
I had a kick.
Yes. Sky, what did you think of Raz's right? Oh, she had a BRB. All right, then. Bella, what did you think?
That was some kind of a story. You know, I was listening it from him from start to the ending. When I really don't get, honestly, about vampires. I know they're sexy. I love Lestat, and I think he is.
Me too.
But I don't get about who is Red Bull. I would let him bite me and suck the shit out of me.
Please do.
No, they're known to have strong sexual power over their victims and those who turn over into the darkness of the night. Yeah, that's actually part of the folklore.
But you know what's
Even
good
better.
about the poem? He was able to give sort of details about it that one can ponder upon, and that was a good read. And thank you very much. I'm sorry, I'm starting to being familiar with your voice. So, pardon me if I keep on asking, who's that?
He's entertaining as hell. No joke.
The Vincent Price interpretation of the vampire is not all that more realistic than Charlotte Harris's in True Blood, in which they were known
You know what
to
cracks me up
possess
about him?
extreme sexual
I don't know
powers
if you're
over their prey and those they could control with their minds.
Yes. Yes. Boo, did you want to comment?
I was just going to say, I just find him so entertaining, and I mean that in the best way. I don't know if you're being sarcastic sometimes, or if you're joking, or if you're serious, or it's just, I just think it's I don't know, entertaining. I think you're hilarious, and I don't mean that in a bad way. Every time I read something of yours, it's something different, and it's something that you don't forget, and it's like, and the way that you read it, I thought was really, really interesting. Like, you can't help but not listen to it. And then, your descriptions, I don't really know, I don't know if this is folklore or what you call this, really fantasy or whatever. I don't write much of it, but if I did, it'd be like this. So I think that you're really good, and I think you're entertaining. So I liked it.
Thank you. It was an actual performance piece to try to divert whoever cared to read the narrative.
There you go.
Not all my poems are really about trying to lure a person into a storyline. Very few, actually. This was just for the sake of Steve's show on Lost Boys.
Yeah.
He prompted me to do that, right?
You did a great job.
Yes, indeed. And Sky said she's ready to comment.
Oh, no, I'm not ready to comment.
Oh.
I'm going to have to go back. I missed that. I missed him reading. But I will go back. I promise, Reg. I'll go back and comment and leave you a nice little comment on your page.
She's true to her.
She will.
word,
She's
right?
good for it.
I am. I'm very.
That would be nice to be Sky, but it's not necessary, you know. I also did something for you
love to.
that has to do with the show you're having this weekend on the Shades of Black. The Shades of
Night Part 2, yeah. I see you were the first to enter. Thank you. I appreciate that.
But when I called the previous week for the Shades of Night, you didn't have anyone who did anything about Nightcrawler, so I did a piece on Kurt Wagner, mostly
there you go.
tailored to your
Yes, so did I.
Yeah, I remember you said that too.
I know. That's why, I was like, I told Stephen and Kay, I'm like, I was really sneaking it. I put him back in because he was my favorite. No one wrote about him, but now everybody.
Yeah, I remember you said that. Nobody wrote about Nightcrawler. I was like, oh. There you go.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
It's so fun. Right. That's the whole purpose of the site, to try to motivate more writing.
There you go, and inspire each other.
Yeah, Sky said she got something she wanted to drop on the board.
Sky, did you want to read?
No, you won't be able to see it. That's why I said it would. If you want me to, it'll be a treat. But you won't be able to comment or see it. So you don't have to. But
why?
If you want to. Because it's a treat. All right. So this, I didn't have a copy of it for a long time, but my aunt passed away recently, and apparently she kept everything that I have ever sent her. So this is 17-year-old Story Me, Vampire, because I love vampires. So keep in mind that I was like 16 or 17. I don't remember which one, but here we go. The blood dripped from the sharp, jagged knife, once resembling my tooth, but now only a murderous fiend soaked in secreted fear that pumped from the veins of my victim. It poured from her blue running streams of life, transforming into deep red oceans of food I consumed in seductious aggression. Pools of insanity ran through my cold, dead body. All that was left after the fires of hell took what they wanted. Drinking from her milk-white skin, I glanced at the corpse that lay beside. It was real. It was alive to me. There wasn't any fake wig to hide imperfections. No salamander falsehood to put on for others' veneration. Just a shriveled up, maggoted carcass, lifeless, dead. Prying myself from the fountain of youth, I shot my pale blue eyes across the room in yellow-tinted curiosity. It was a child, lost. I was a child, lost and born into a world, but this time with a thirst of blood and the life of immortality. She danced into the room, floating on pandemonious clouds of madness. Chaos screamed from her emerald eyes. A beauty that, sorry, I messed up. I haven't read this yet. I glanced, attempting to behold the thoughts, feelings she held. I wanted only her pleasures, her wantings. With a turn of the world, her hand was on my chest, soaked in blood. I discarded the drained body from my arms as she continued to prey upon my neck. With one soft movement, she drew me in. As an animalistic creature preyed upon my lips, releasing the bedlam down into my mouth. I kissed her with all my being and more. Blood seeped through, streaming her crystal pale skin. I danced beneath her crimson dress and shimmered around her body. And I'm going to skip that part. And I'm going to go to the last part. I skipped that part. She was crazy. She was crazy. She she was crazy. It's almost over. She was, and I'm sorry, I haven't read this in years. So she was crazy. This was what made her so attractive, filled with lunatic intentions of immorality. Once I jumped into that river in instability, there was no coming back to shore. Hell, there weren't any boats for worlds away, if indeed I wanted to escape. I stayed willingly and let myself drown in the depths of her hysteria. The darkness somehow faded to black that night as worlds collided, and at the hands of an immortal goddess, I came into my view. And story.
That's awesome.
Need a cigarette.
And I didn't have a copy of it. So this is a letter. I shared everything with my aunt. So this is a letter I got with her stuff that I wrote her. So not a letter, but a story.
Nice.
So I don't have it. This is the only copy I have of it. So that's why it was a treat. I hope you liked my vampire story.
That's cool.
That's it.
You know, you always talk about how you and I are kindred, Sky, and I'll tell you, that kind of hit home, because after I saw The Lost Boys when I was still in my teens, I so badly wanted to be turned.
Oh, I know, right? I know, right?
So I'll tell you one geeky fact. So I played D&D for a long time, and I know that I told you that, Stephen, but I played Dungeons and Dragons for a long time, and there was another RPG, and I mean even in my 20s, so deep into my 20s, but there was another RPG called Vampires, and we never wanted to do it because we're all Anne Rice fans. All my friends are all Anne Rice fans, and very much just vampire fans. So we didn't want to get too cliche, so we never did it. But we ended up trying it out. But the person who was like the DM, the dungeon master, technically different term in vampires, but she was like, I want a 15-page backstory, and I want all the it was crazy. But so I do have another story about vampire, but yeah. Anyway, it's on TV. I don't need any comments. I just wanted to share. So, and keep in mind, I was like 16 or 17.
Vampires. I mean, that was dangerous. Back after the late 90s, there's a different version of vampires that has nothing to do with using a manual or any of those books they would sell on role playing. And people would go around just saying that they were playing vampires. It was some crazy times.
Yeah.
Well, this was offered. This was with dice. This was with dice and those graph papers, and so we always live role played. We never did that online stuff. It was all as a group. So you probably did.
I mean, not even bothering with the role playing coming from a textbook or the official online version or whoever distributed the actual thought of the game, and saying that it was still real, that they were playing vampires. I mean, I wouldn't trust those kinds of people back in the days. They used to do some sordid stuff and really look like they were the part.
Yeah, I didn't go into online D&D till the 5th edition came out, and that was just this character setup. It wasn't to play.
I also think it got a bad name too by a lot of people. That wasn't fair, really. You know, that's just my opinion.
Yeah. Hey, Oak.
Stephen?
Did you have to read and run?
Well, I don't have to read and run, but my battery is on fumes. So, yeah.
All right. And I know Deb is here too.
Oh, okay, Deb and Oak.
Dude.
Did I do that?
So
is Mr. Goldfarb gonna call for once, maybe on his phone? Because I've been reading his stuff, but I've never heard him a single time. I've been wondering about that.
He doesn't. He doesn't
give permission, so there is no poems being read by him. But we're gonna get a few comments for Sky, and then we're gonna move forward with Deb and Oak.
Is that all right? Is that order okay, or are you really?
Maybe he was just too busy and could not give permission.
Maybe.
Yeah, regardless, though, we have to have it.
Yep.
Gotta have it. Ain't gonna touch it if I ain't got permission. Bottom line.
Is that order okay with you, Deb and Oak?
It works.
Sure is.
There's one more myth that's not really expelled throughout this entire blog about allpoetry.com. It says Mr. Waltz home to the largest amount of poets, at least 500,000. But I've been through most of the poems. This is hardly 2,000 people here.
Yeah.
One more comment for Sky?
Yeah, is there Bella or Boo or both? And definitely forward.
Bella, what did you think of Sky's story?
Yeah, it got to me that the aunt was really the one who might turn you one day. Someone from your family. Yeah. That's kind of not what I would expect when it comes to the folklore, but it's exactly what I wrote about too, in which it had been a person's brother. Because sooner or later, while you're living a regular life, you don't know what lives out there, and if it wants to find its way home.
Yeah. Well, how about we hear what Bella and Boo think, so we can move forward.
Yeah. So we still have a few more poems to read.
Bella,
Bella, are you there, Bella? Maybe she stepped away. Boo, what did you think?
Did she do a BRB?
She might have said done that. Yeah, I did.
BRB.
Yeah, she did.
I thought. Well, every time she writes something, I get like drawn in. You can't help between her voice and then words she chooses. And at first, when I listened to it, I thought it was a love poem. I mean, and then you said it was for your aunt, right? Or you wrote it to your aunt?
No, it was a vampire story for a creative writing class, but I had mailed it to my aunt, so I didn't have a copy,
okay.
but I just got the copy for the first, I didn't know she still had it, so I was just sharing it.
Oh, that's so nice that she left it for you. That's really cool. That makes it even better, I think. And that's a good memory. I thought that was really beautiful and unique, and I love you, baby Zeke. So.
I guess I understand who turned who in what I heard.
Yeah. Let's have Deb read so Oak can read.
Yeah. Ready to read, Deb?
Sure am.
And there it is.
And okay, thank you. And I wrote to quote number 1. And the poem is called, and the title is actually pieces of lyrics from the song Cry Little Sister from the movie.
Yeah.
Heartbeats like a drum deep in your veins at Blue Masquerades. And here we go. Porcelain flesh wears no wrinkles on a body cold to the touch. No scars or broken bones, and no heartstrings as a crutch. You cannot die if you feed, so just leave the people dead. Snatch them from the street, from school, or from a bed. Then bathe in the warm flow, swimming inside crimson red. Man may kick and scream, or women snivel and weep. But as you pierce skin to drink, they fall but to death, not sleep. Eat now, little sister. Feed. Feast as hot bodies bleed. End poem.
Awesome. Yeah, I saw that in the title. I mentioned that, and also, of course, at the very last couplet, you do say "little sister," and you don't say "cry, little sister," but you say "little sister." So that's from the song too. I like that you incorporated that. But the one line in the second couplet, I really like the way that you worded that. No heartstrings as a crutch, unfeeling. I like that a lot. Mm-hmm. That's really cool. Yes.
Thank you, Steve.
Really enjoyed this. Yep. Who are we getting comments now from? Did Bella come back yet?
I didn't see anything on the board from her.
Okay. Boo, what did you think?
Well, like everything she writes, it's always so descriptive and it's all her own, and she brings you into it with everything. And I don't know about you guys, but in Jersey, where I'm from, this movie was really big. And I loved this movie, and so I was going to say it. But sorry, Deb, my screen just froze. I'm getting there. I love to hear you read it. The way that you read it is, I think, is really beautiful too. And I'm sorry I can't see the words right now, Deb. My screen's stuck, but I loved it, and I'll leave you a comment.
That was an awesome comment. Thank you.
You're welcome. Stupid computer.
And then, Oak, what did you think?
Well, I thought, first of all, form-wise, the meter and the flow was succinct and worked. It was tight, and it wasn't, forced. Sometimes people try to force the form to make it work, and it served the content. And it opened with, I think, what is so appealing to the mythos of vampirism. Porcelain flesh wears no wrinkles. The immortality, obviously, is the allure. And then it's, I call it pseudo-sexy. I'm sorry. Beat me up, write me hate mail. But it is, in my opinion, there's a whole...
It is.
I've done hundreds of hours of research on the subject to write the poem that I wrote, or to write the screenplay for the poem that I wrote. It turns vampirism on its ear, and that's what mythos on its ear.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I loved the Lost Boys, and I loved the Brat Pack that did, all the movies in the 80s. I came up in that era too, as you know, brother, and so I dug it, and it was a fun piece. This, I think, captures some of that, respectfully, of the proper, if you will, mythos. And toward the end, people have mentioned also the rice, and you can't have meat without rice, and you can't have vampirism without rice. And it brought to mind when we got to the end here, Feed, Little Sister Feed, and I know, again, it was a homage to Lost Boys, but it brought the young vampire girl that was played by Kirsten Dunst. Oh, my God, she's so precocious for her age. I was like, how did they put a woman in this girl's body? She was just so equal to the task at whatever age she was playing this tiny little. I'm thinking, oh, my God, she's going to be in the girl's body forever when I'm watching that, right? The movie. That brought that to mind, too. So I like this, right, Deb?
Thanks, Oak.
I second what he said.
Yeah, I was going to say I agree with the analogy for Kirsten Dunst. She's phenomenal, and especially in that movie.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ditto for me, Deb, just what he said.
Okay.
Hey, that's copyrighted content, sister.
Oh, I got your consent, Oak. I got your consent.
You're going to use that against me forever, aren't you? I figured.
Copy the epitaph, too, even in the end.
I only stalked you to get you here. Don't put it past me.
Let's get one more comment. We do have a lot to get through still, don't we? So I was going to limit to 3 comments per poem. Sorry, everybody. We'll get one more comment for Deb from Sky.
Oh, I was going to say I'll have what he's having. Oh, yeah.
Me too.
I thought this is a great piece. As always, I really liked the dark. As always, your if I can speak, I'm sorry. Your title is just absolutely stunning. I really like those long titles. I am a sucker for a long title, but I really liked the no scars or broken bones and no heartstrings at a crutch. You cannot die as you feed so, just leave people dead. It's a little bit different. I like how, because some of your a lot of your rights rather, that I really enjoy are soaked in color and images, and I enjoy that so much about you. And you, as Sweet Pea says, go on your color box. And this is
color Crayola.
Yeah, Crayola color, yeah. And this one's a little bit different. It's very, very straightforward and very daunting and very dark, but I like that about it. I like that little bit of mixture where it's almost like a straight shooter, and you just go down, and it makes it even more piercing that way. It's not like pretty with bouquet flowers. It's very sharp and thoughtful and very, very sinister, and I very much enjoyed it.
Thank you, Sky.
Excellent comment.
You're twisted.
And my sister in darkness has just entered the room.
Yeah.
Do you see her?
I see her.
Uh-oh.
Which one?
Sweetie?
Oh, yeah.
Mortuary has
Now
all
the
kinds
dark
of
hero.
shadows.
Sweet.
The Dark Queen.
I
Yes,
just
indeed.
left Crystal.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
We were just getting ready to drop Oak's poem in the room. Is that okay, sweet, or do you have to? Because Oak's phone is dying.
Dying.
No. Let's
That's a
take
vampire.
her.
Aren't we all dying all the time?
Yes. I want to hear Oak read. I live for that.
Flattered.
Me too.
Thank
Me
you.
All right, so it's in there.
Okay.
Oh, cool. Got your charger.
A minute of
Yeah,
backstory, but I can't. I can only. It's a stupid iPhone. I can only plug in the microphone that I'm talking in or the charger.
We
not
don't
both.
mind.
So a quick a minute of backstory. This was backwritten on a script that has gotten optioned and not produced. And the notion was let's really turn vampire mythos on its ear. If you get bitten, you might turn into a vampire, but you might die an agonizing death. It is a virus, people. Virus. Might kill you, might make you immortal. So you want to make someone immortal? Imagine the tragedy. You want to make a beloved immortal and you kill him instead? Oh, how
Are they
horrible.
hot? I'm willing to take a chance.
Yeah. And, I had Anthony Hopkins in mind to play the 800-year-old vampire who has studied under the greats. What do you do when you live forever? I mean, really, the stuff they do in Twilight is boring as shit to me. Sorry if I step on toes.
Who's talking
You live
Twilight?
forever. And you live forever. Well, most of what we assume is vampires. You live forever. They've had every business conquest. They've held royal offices. They've had every sexual conquest. You get ready. You want to kill yourself, and you can't. What do? You aspire to the highest aspiration of humankind. You become an artist. And this cat has studied under the greatest artists of all time as their protege as well as their sponsor. And yet he cannot be celebrated, because to be celebrated is to be identified and to be hunted down by the self-appointed witch hunters of each age. So it is trivial.
Witch hunter.
And you could do that if you were associated with the Medicis in the 1600s and you were studying under Michelangelo and Da Vinci, because you could manipulate them and no one could track you down.
Themes
but today,
of Daniel
you
Simmons
can
Carry
be
On
tracked
comfort
down. Yeah, let's there's not tons of them. There are very few, and they are princes of their own fecal domains, and they guard their turf very carefully. And again, I love the Blade mythos. I love the Rice mythos. I love all those mythos, but this is completely.
Yeah, I've heard that theory. That's part of the Illuminati Society, and even the Purple Mariah defending the Vatican, the vampire cults that have gone on for hundreds of years. Yeah.
So
this
here's
is one of their more standing members who's proposing the poem, right? Dreadfully to aspire higher.
This is what it is. Dreadfully to aspire higher. You have me all wrong, my puppets, thinking me easy to spot amongst thee, believing in your ill-begotten lore, which serves my survival all too well. I thrive for centuries, not by conspicuousness, but by discretion and sly misdirection. Long since robbing robber barons and drinking sloppy to betray my ilk, I've parlayed fortunes under myriad aliases, weaving multiple layers of safety nets, aligning with princes and captains of industry, amassing fresh supplies of clean blood. I've ascended to every pinnacle known of kingdoms and commerce and conquest of flesh, and found this insufferable substance of life evermore farther from anything fresh. Till ages ago, found endeavor, worth breath, akin to being godlike, ordained manifest, creating ex nihilo, true beauty expressed, emerging from brushes to canvas so dressed. Mine patronage, it hath so privileged me to apprentice with masters since Don da Vinci, when bearing the surname of Don Medici, until our last supper consumed between we. Wouldst that I could have provided to he the gift and the curse of an eternity, would be mine design to well preserve his talent this world assured not deserve. But tragic the truth, thou wouldst nary believe, to transfer mine virus so sorely conceived, for it may bestow dread immortality, or deprive its cursed host of vitality, posing me unbearable weight of consideration for venturing to bestow such a tenuous state upon another for such twisted ill fate, but to beget fatal agony to mine consternation. So ponder thee, I who wouldst walk in thy midst, not in the least what thee fondly conceive, substantial while equally vaporous mist, cursed if well versed, and so direly grieved. I appear without fear, and too without peers, as such a forlorn master, who may not e'er be celebrated for his creation sublime. For so to be seen draws attention unkind, exposing mine age to the righteous enraged of each passing age, whose thirst unassuaged, for venturing mine ageless and venomous blood, in release in such dire fatality's flood. This is mine curse, the deluded temporal puppets, who be precluded from diswrought lives sore eternally gifted, and be so doomed to requisite obscurity. Behold mine requiem for me, who yet flourishes discreetly, most verily among thee. End poem.
I need a cigarette.
Awesome.
That was so long.
Baby.
This is going to turn you into
Holla.
a chain smoker. Boo. Yeah, this is just great. I remember when you had read this once before, I think, a while back. Yeah, 3 months ago, I think. And I actually saw. Yeah, I didn't realize that it was vampiric. I thought it was. It reminded me of American Psycho, where he seemed to, not feel much for the people around him, but
no feeling at all.
yeah, but kind of full of himself a little bit. This is really cool though. Yeah, but I could definitely see the vampire angle on it now, especially when you just explained everything right before you read it. This is really cool.
There you go. Glad you liked it.
Let's get to some comments here. Sweet Pea, what'd you think?
Oh, I love a good vampire story. And one told so well. Be still, my non-beating heart. I do like the mind partnage. It has so privileged me to apprentice with the masters since Don da Vinci, when bearing the surname of Don Medici, until our last supper consumed between we. That is such a great stanza. I love it when men can get together and just enjoy a meal with each other.
There you go.
Where's my invite?
Nibble here, nibble there.
Once more if you dare.
Raz, what did you think?
That the overall theme of secret societies is commemorated by these verses in a well manner that the reader gets the impression that although they can't be proven, maybe historically they have somehow played a part in our lives, society as a whole, all the way since the dawn of the Christian church to the fall of Rome. And it's very powerful stuff. Good work. Oak.
Thank you.
Excellent comment. And we'll get one more from Sky before I ask you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I exited out of this. I thought I wasn't going to hold on. I thought it was a great story. Let me just get back into it. I thought I really enjoyed your introduction, and I feel like I know that it would lengthen it out a little bit, but I really feel like this could be more like a story. I mean, it is a story, but to put that intro in the beginning, I found myself very enveloped in that intro, and I know some people on the site shy away from really long writes, but I just thought it was such a beautiful intro into the piece itself. And with all that backstory and dialogue, I just really appreciated that. But the piece itself, absolutely wonderful. I liked the stanza, the truth thou wouldst nary believe, to transfer mind various, so sorely conceived. I mean, your rhyme and your language is spot on, and if you ever have time, I definitely think it's worthwhile putting that intro in, because that was gorgeous in itself, really well done.
I think you two should collab.
Thank you.
Well,
I've been around for 800 years, so I've learned a lot of language.
Yes, you have. And it's delightful.
Thank you.
What did you think about it, hon?
Oh, I thought this was a great write. I have to agree with what you said when you're talking about American Psycho, because he was very disconnected. He had no emotion. He had no feeling. He was like a machine, just, that breathed and existed, but nothing much else other than that. But yeah, I thought this was a cool write. And obviously I commented on it a while ago, so it means I heard it before.
Yeah.
I know you have too.
I forgot.
The word
I'm sorry.
No,
that's
all right. No, it has a lot of strong emotions with their own meaning. So yeah, I thought it was a great write.
Bless me.
Thank
Bless
you.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes,
I'm sorry, can I just say one thing, Steve?
Huh?
Sure.
I'm sorry. I know you guys are. I just want to say, Oak, I think that this is filled with passion and enthusiasm. Like, you write everything, and it's poetic, and you learn something at the same time, and your voice makes it all the better, and it's educational and poetic, and I loved it. So that's awesome.
Thanks, Boo.
You're welcome.
I tried to keep my students awake when I was a teacher.
Yeah. Was that a problem?
When you just have to stand and speak.
There you go.
Sweet Pea.
Sweet.
Yes.
Sweet Pea, do you have to read and run?
Yes, I do.
Okay, then I will grab it. And then I promise we'll
Unless-
get to Bella.
Unless somebody else is ahead of me. Unless someone else is ahead of me.
No, I
But
think
if Sweet Pea needs.
no. You're the only reader and runner right now.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I am
That's all right.
just got my last stitches out, and I'm going to take copious amounts of medication allowed by doctors and go to bed.
I want that, sweet. I want it.
Share the wealth.
Okay. No. The other set is wearing off now, and I need to take more. Okay, this is an oldie but goodie. It has nothing to do with the one that's on tonight. It is about vampires. But I was just helping out a girl I know. So Here we go. This is Vamp. I love her. Crystallize. Yeah. Crystallized emerald eyes, laser cut ivory flesh. Cherry bomb hair flares fireworks, bursting in air. Pedigree burned into Red Cross legends of blasphemy. A passionate lover turned the liar, guzzled the lust from her bones, slit her throat and drank the onyx piss in her veins. In the daylight, she slept on black silk pillows, tucked into a pearlescent alabaster coffin with surround sound system and temperature controlled. She was a queen, alive or dead. As the sunset faded in purple bruised shades, the three-story mansion of opulence was a house of beauty, torture, and murder games. The whitest of candles flamed on shiny tables of silver. Vases of gold held black roses, blended with the smell of the ocean, and a cozy bonfire crackled in sync with the ocean waves. She was dressed in her Vera Wang, thigh-slit dress. Her golden dungeon key ring dangled on her wrist. It matched her stilettos as she sashayed into the cage door. She removed him from the wall and walked behind him to the beach, admiring his muscular body and listening to his heartbeat. This beast had a will to live. Unbound from his chains, the wine poured, steaks were served, kisses explored, and in a moment a foolish man thought her weak. He held a knife to the neck of the vampiress. His hand she crushed to dust, and fangs appeared as she smiled. For now, there is pain to bear. She bit off his fingertips one by one like potato chips, crumbled his toes, blew cheese for his feet, broke his knees and plucked out his right eye. Then a gentle lover held him tight and snuggled his neck, and she ripped his neck open like an old zipper on a pair of Levi's. Blood was squirting in her eyes, out of her mouth, and on her thighs. That dress and those shoes were ruined. She suckled him so hard she pulled the marrow from his bones. The sun was rising, and her caretaker ran her a shower. Sleep, my lady. Your Bach is playing. Would you like Mexican, French, American, or a feminine dish this evening?
Yeah, I like this one. I've read this one before. Yeah, I like the descriptions on how she pretty much just rips him to pieces. It's just awesome. And I also really like the coffin. I'm wondering where I can get one of those.
Yeah?
Yeah. The surround sound. That's just awesome. And temperature controlled. That's just great. Sounds like it's more comfortable than my bed.
Yeah.
Her whole house is more comfortable than me. But you know who has not commented on this is Sky, and it's one of my very few ones.
Oh, so you're requesting a comment from Sky. You hear that, Sky?
Wait, did you request now? You know, when I first started hearing this, I'm like, oh, she wrote a poem about me. But then it went off in different venues, and then I was like, oh, maybe it's not about me. But I absolutely... But the first three stanzas, I was pretty sure. But no, I love this. This is epic storyline writing. This is what the word that I would just really describe as this is epic. I love reading I don't know if you know Laurel K. Hamilton. She got kind of really into a little bit out of the dark genre and into the romance genre. But Laurel K. Hamilton, Anne Rice. I'm a big fan of the Vampire Chronicles. I've probably read them maybe all the way through twice, plus all the branches off. And so this is something that I very, very much enjoy. And I would definitely read, if this was an excerpt of a story, this would be something I would be definitely interested in. I thought the word choice was very a bit, my eyebrows really raised at the lust from her bones slit her throat. I was like, wow, this is getting kind of dark. And then you pulled out this drank the onyx piss from her veins, and I'm like, did she just say that? Did she just, what happened there? And it really, really catches your attention. It's very different. It's very evocative. I mean, this was just an excellent piece, and I loved. She got a little sassy in the next stanza too, like she was a queen, alive or dead, with the surround sound stereo system. I really like those little details because it really brings the character to alive. And when you're reading something, I read a lot. I read a lot of books, so sometimes stories. If you read something, you start to, sometimes your memory fades a little bit within storylines and specific lines. But there are some lines in every book that I remember that I'm like, oh yeah, I really like that part. And if I had read this in a book setting, those two parts would definitely be something my memory would hold on to, because I thought it was brilliant and inventive and new. Really well done. I really appreciated this one.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome comment. And Bella, are you around to make a comment? Did she come back?
Well, she is.
Yes, I'm here. I wrote out there that I'm first listening to Sweet Pea's reading. I feel like she's going to eat me alive, little by little, nibble on my skin. But she has a wonderful tone, and how she described the subject matter here is different. As the sun faded in purple blue shades, the three-story mansion of opulence was the house of beauty, torture, and murder games. I don't want to go there. Sweet Pea. I'm scared of your discourse because when you say that you are my dark, you became the dark that, I'm writing, whenever I write something dark, I think about the sky, because I have my darkness with you guys, and I want to learn from you guys, and I've been learning every time I read you, and this is a very good opportunity for me to have to listen to you and to listen to Sky and people out here, because it's teaching me how to incorporate your thoughts, how you do it with mine. I have to put myself in the center. So thank you very much for this one, and please don't eat me, sweet. I love you.
She'll just lock you in a dungeon with me. You'll be fine.
Yeah, just hang on to Sky, and you'll be fine. Okay.
You have to find a way to abduct them, Abel. Don't take them seriously. They're not going to drive out from wherever they are right now and find your location to abduct you. I mean, that's just ridiculous.
No.
What did you think?
No.
What did you think of the poem, Raj?
It was a good piece. I like all this Victorian goth thrown into modern times when it comes to the setting. The victim of choice, who was obviously a boy or man to be wearing the Levi jeans, he's described to be all but shredded to pieces, like you said. That much is graphic of what is true to a vampire when they do not like their victim because it's only the sake of feeding, not for trying to use for other purposes, such as initiation, the rites, and then further manipulation from the person who becomes more or less your master. If you pay attention to the folk, you have a maker. When you have that maker, he's the one or she's the one who turned you. So with this boy, he was just something
man
in the middle of the darkness of the night with the man. that had to be used for the sake of the ritual of blood. And that in itself, although we're discussing the more positive sides of vampirism, I would honestly, being of a Christian faith, find to be the complete reverse act of the communion rites of which there is at church, because the maker is not necessarily Jesus Christ when he's asking for your blood in order to win more immortality through nature.
Yeah, but that's the thing about me is I don't mix my religion with my fiction.
But otherwise, good goth piece, good horror.
Just saying.
3P.
Yeah.
What did you think? What do you think, hon?
Well, I remember hearing this, and I remember then I left a lot of shocky faces on my comment. I mean, you're talking about pissing veins. This is a hell of a rate. There's a lot of like, oh my gosh, faces. It's dark. It's awesome. It really is.
Yeah, I believe my comment when you read it before started off with yikes. So yeah.
Yikes! Yeah. All right, y'all. I love you. I gotta get to bed, say my prayers, and lay my head. All right. Talk to y'all later.
All right. Enjoy
love
the
you.
box.
All right. Bye. Bye.
Good night.
Night.
Good night, sweetie.
And I dropped out.
All right, Bella. Yours is in the room.
Okay, thank you very much. I don't have vampire to anything dark. I think this one is a little bit dark, not too much, and it's a collaboration with Mort. So this is how it goes. Of my beautiful death, collaboration with Mort. Harlequin Labelle. Her flesh impudent sin, her illusions in taming her thoughts, a beauty caged captivating. Her body weaves the rigid structure of fissured marble, blanketed with dirt and seated on bleached flat. His hand worships her carcass, every point of her contour, the abstract portrait poised, model, motionless post mortem of his divine caress. She, Labelle. The ways Picasso adored Larive's curves, and period blue, bands and curls, rigor mortis molds his gentle strokes. As he etches stiffness, the silhouette, demi-belle molds his masterpiece, the variegated scintilla amare. And
Did we lose? Sorry.
did you lose me?
No, you're
You're right there, right?
My phone just started acting up.
Was it your phone?
I thought it was, yeah, because it made some weird. It did some weird things, but no, this was.
Oh, did she?
That was just the NSA again, making sure you know that they're listening to you all the time.
Yeah, yeah. She said in poem.
Oh, okay.
I think they did say that though.
Yes, she did. Yes, she did. I thought this was a excellent dark collab. It made me think, because you know what, I took it because of maybe it's just because of what the show's about, but I took it as how a vampire might treat his prey. So I thought that it does fit. It does fit, sister. It's excellent collab.
Can I comment? I saw
Sure, go right
something
ahead.
far more morbid here. What happened was you had the artist and the sculptor, and what he created was out of a living person into a skeletal statue of their remains. That's what I literally read out of the verse. It was a dark image that stood out, connecting all the words, until you just had the skeleton of the woman. And in her own death, the artist felt that he had accomplished some kind of deeper but morbid type of love. And that would be my honest opinion of this poem. on my beautiful or of my beautiful death.
Well, the thing about collaborating with people is you have your perception in your mind and the picture of what you want, and when you collaborate with the other one, it transforms or the poem into something, and you try as much as possible to stick in that topic, and you hold on to that
Yeah, but
until you
working with
probably
cadavers, that's usually for medical science, not for, artistic practices. So there's something up with the sculpture and the sculptor.
yes, because I rebuilt it with I first thought about the Picasso, which I love abstract poems. So Harlequin, it was explanation to this one person what is Harlequin for me, because Harlequin for other people is just plain boring Joker. No, Harlequin is has a lot of meaning, which means colorful, scintillating, and the scintilla. So that's this Harlequin for me. I was trying to have this mind game with oak, actually. So I built in a clue for him to decipher it and thought about Moot having to collab with me. So that's how it started there.
All right. Cool.
Of course,
Boo, did
there's
you want
always
to
the
comment?
memoriam of your beloved or dead husband and bride. I mean, there has to be the widow who will never forget.
All right. Well, Boo just dropped again, so how about Sky? Would you like to comment?
I'm sorry, I got distracted with that commenting. I thought it was a great piece. I have to find the collab here. Oh, here we go. I had to find the tab to it. I remember you talking about doing this piece and collaborating, and it is a really good collab. I noticed that your words are very uniformed and right aligned, which is a little bit different from you, which might be the aspect of a different writer coming in. So I enjoy the difference and the outbranching, but I also really enjoy how halfway through you wrote she la bella, the ways Picasso adored. It was beautiful language, wonderfully dark and descriptive, and I don't know if I could point out who did what, and I really appreciate that. So really well done, Bella.
Yeah, because he inserts. Thank you very much, Sky. He inserts his thoughts in it, um, so he can incorporate himself. That the darker words are his, and the lighter are mine.
Awesome. What'd you think, hon?
Well, I definitely saw the darker elements because when you use words like carcass, that usually, and you're talking post-mortem, it usually means death. So I definitely see the elements of death there. And I've spoken before about how love can be its own death, too, because both love and death are the unknown. You won't know what happens in either. It just will happen when they happen.
Yeah.
But I could definitely see where you are, and I could understand where he is in the words as well, because I can see, as you said, you brought the light aspect, and you brought the dark aspect. So, yeah, I definitely see the death in them. I really do.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Please, you guys appreciate it. I love you guys.
We love you too, Bella.
And since Boo has not come back, I'm moving forward with another.
All right.
Because I don't know what to do about that.
Yeah, hopefully Boo comes back because she does have one in the topic form.
True, Bella. Vampires don't like necrophiliacs because they make for bad blood.
I know, and then they will die. It will They will obliterate.
Yep.
Oh.
All right. Well, Raz.
Only because he hasn't read actually tonight.
You want me to read J.G.'s poem? I mean,
Yes, please.
What else am I good for but to read John Gilman for him? Yeah, I would, if you like. She is the Slayer happens to be a subcaption here. And the poem is, The Undead Had a Bad Night. Senses are on overload. Our fever is burning hot. A need that can't be explained, but must be filled a lot. Beware the sign of the moon. It's when the dark will rise. One moment you are alone, then you'll see our hungry eyes. We cannot hide who we are, or the beast that dwells within. You can try to get away, but you'll be ours in the end. You're running into the woods, and that's our hunting ground. The corpses of new brethren are beneath you all around. They will rise and join our ranks when the third night is here. Looks like you've run out of time, overcome by mortal fear. Wait, what is happening here? Something has gone very wrong. Why can't we kill you, and why are you supernaturally strong? Our brethren die by the score as your stake runs them through. But you are a mortal girl, and we will yet feast well on you. But the young lady persisted as her training did her well, and on that night she sent a small vampire coven to hell. This is where the story ends. The bloodsuckers lost the fight. It was 16 down for Buffy, and the undead had a bad night. Written for Lost Boys, thoughts about Buffy. Wait, is there a connection there? Dark fantasy, vampires, John Gilman.
Excellent read, Raz. What'd you think of it?
When you finally have the hunter of these creatures of the night, the commemoration piece by Gilman thoroughly describes in a very rhythmic manner the kind of battle that was fought out in those woods, that you could almost imagine it for yourself, the slaying from the hunter onto the dead, and then furthermore how the coven might have receded into the shadows, but there would be another night in which they would definitely want payback for their lost blood.
Excellent comment. Sky is apparently very excited about Buffy the Vampire Slayer, so why don't we let her comment?
Well, to be honest with you, I got kind of too excited when I couldn't focus that much. But no, I love it. You know,
with the focus is the hunter, but they can never rest. Once you cross the line that you're willing to admit the vampires are real and you want a piece of them. I mean, that much has been explained by modern culture and the stories.
All right. Go ahead, Sky.
So I was a huge Buffy fan, like probably terribly geeky. So and I'm gonna drop you guys some Buffy comic books in here. But I thought it was such a great piece, and once I realized where it was going, you know, there's some Buffy vintage comic books there that are on my shelf. But I probably shouldn't. I probably shouldn't should other bit, but I really loved how it was very, very sinister. I didn't quite. I mean, I seen the picture. I was listening before I clicked on the link, so I didn't realize it, because in the beginning it's very original. You wouldn't be able to tell that it was, kind of fan fiction based. And I have also read, I used to have tons of fan fiction books from writers from that series, and so they do go very dark. And if anybody has read fan fiction novels, there's specific writers, Christopher something, they do great spin-offs of the show, but it's very, very dark. And, you know, Joss Whedon is brilliant anyway, but there's only so much you could do on network television. But, this it's absolutely brilliant how they kind of string the story in, and you don't really know what's going to happen. And I didn't know what was going to happen because I didn't click on the link, so I didn't get the picture right away. And then I clicked on the link, saw the picture, and then knew where it was going. And then it must have been the next stanza. They brought in the Buffy part. I thought this was great. I'll put a better comment on there. I just got a little too excited. I'm sorry. Really well done.
Yeah, I really like this too. He just kind of started off, I think, writing it with the movie The Lost Boys, but then all of a sudden he said it kind of switched into a Buffy. But I thought he did really well. I like the way it started out. You know, if a vampire wants you, more than likely he's going to get you. But yeah, it's a good thing that Buffy was well trained. I never watched the TV series. Queen Victoria wants to talk about it too. I did see the movie. I can't remember. Okay, I can't remember who played Buffy in the movie, but
Sarah Michelle Gellar. Sarah Michelle Gellar. Yep. And Allison Hannigan played Willow, which of course I loved Willow. We won't get into that. Go ahead, continue.
No, Sarah Michelle Gellar played it in the series. In the movie, it was somebody completely different.
Yeah, it was. No, if you give me a minute, I know who it is, but I can't remember. Yes, thank you. And Luke Perry. Played. Yep, and Luke Perry.
Well, my favorite would have been the end where Paul Rubens dies. The way he dies in that movie just cracks me up.
Dramatic.
But yeah, this is a great.
I really loved the montage in that movie.
Yeah. Yeah. I haven't seen it in so long. I gotta watch it again. What'd you think of John's poem, hon?
Yeah, I thought this was great. I have not seen the series. I've had a lot of people talk about it. When the series came on, I had a young baby to raise, so my priorities were focused on him. So I have not seen that yet. So I thought this was an excellent write about vampires. Yeah, and as you said. And a lot of us have said that, if a vampire has you in their sight, then they're going to do what they have to take what they want.
Yeah.
I thought this was an excellent thing. And I will comment on it in a bit.
If I may, just one more little thing, Stephen, and I don't want to take too much time, but Joss Whedon, the person who I'm trying to get you to watch Firefly, he created Buffy, and he also does a lot of the Avenger movies and everything, so I mean, it's worth it. It's worth it, just saying.
Yeah.
And comment.
Okay. All right. I see John's out on the board. Hello, John. Thanks for contributing. And let's see. Boo, you're back. And
I'm sorry, my phone is screwed up. I was wondering if I could just put another one there. Is that okay? Because I read that one before, and this one is different. Is that okay with you guys or not? Or you want to stick with that one?
Yeah, if you want to send me the link, or
I'll send it to Kate. Yeah. I got. Hey, I'm sorry. I just. It's a different kind of vampire, though.
Different kind of vampire.
Different, not a spooky. Well, I guess they're scarier than the regular vampires, actually. I sent it to Kate.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I see the title, and I remember this one.
You're dropping the
Yeah.
I just happened to see it, and I go, oh, that would be good.
Yes. Okay.
No,
it's an old one, so I don't know how much it sucks, but we'll see. I just found it. So okay, this is emotional vampires. Roaming around, confused once more, bewildered puppet strings have torn. Others view used to hold such weight, took stock chose to reevaluate those who enjoy being center stage, the ones who judge a book by its cover without reading a single page. Cruel and inflated egos clash with insanity. What happened to the concept of humanity? Believing better than everybody else, go ahead, keep on lying to yourself. Too blind to see, parents are crying, millions are dying, children are slain, ignorance not a solution. Only allows injustice to reign. In order to get respect, you have to be willing to give the same. don't come with made-up stories intended to attack, usually a misinterpretation without regard for the facts. Turn your ass around and walk right back. Sooner or later, the charade gets tired. What to do when there's no one willing to conspire? Cover is blown, watch as you nervously perspire. Hence, why no longer affiliate with bloodthirsty, emotional vampires? So what's the solution to a growing indifferent society? Fight for what's right, unimportant is the color or nationality. Let each individual simply be. Only then will we be really free. End poem. Ooh, that needs editing.
Yeah, but it's really powerful. I've not heard this one before. Kay says she remembers it, but I must have been absent at the time.
2 years ago.
But this is just awesome.
I read that
sounds like a
poem
narcissist to me. And I thought,
because it was on
I think I know this person.
Yeah, don't we all feel like that?
Yeah, awesome. Awesome, right, Boo. Thanks. Raz, what did you think?
Yeah, what you have here is who needs to lore anymore about alpha males or vampires that stalk the night? Emotional vampires, that's what the system does to too many lives. Why they suffer from depression, anxiety, psychotic disorder, overwork, stress, simply having
they
nothing
suck the
to
life
do with
out of
their
you.
time from either the corporation or the business. And then to top it all off, you have the government on the sidelines willing to tax you by the end of the year, and that only leads to further social problems, which makes too many members of the population victims of the system. And that seems to be the general viewpoint of the poem. But despite all that, she does leave it on the end that a person's own individual character can persevere through going any kind of trials in which the rest of the world seems out to get you. And that's a very colorful note to leave behind, the fact that the system is vampiric and is really trying to drain the soul out of all Americans in this nation. If more thoroughly looked at the worsening condition of different types of sicknesses that are work-related or simply from not having a job, a reason or means to be productive. So that would be my take.
You go, boy. Thank you.
All right. Sky, what did you think?
I thought I loved the messages in this piece. And the hard fact to swallow of it is that sometimes the most toxic people are can be loved ones or family members.
Yep.
And it's kind of easy to distance yourself from people that don't have much of an impact in our life and just say, well, I'm not going to be around that person because there are toxic people. And I think that becomes a little bit trickier when they're perhaps our parents or and things like that, and people that are dear to us. And sometimes it is necessary to separate yourself from them until that time, until they understand that they are polluting, your mind and your heart and your soul, and it can be very hard. And so I do like the leap from, it can be very vampiric like and very draining. So I liked that analogy there, and I thought it was a good way to loop that in onto something very real and something very deep and very personal. So I really enjoyed this.
Oh, thank you. And you have to let them stop sucking the life out of you. That's on us too. So
yeah, because they will.
Yeah, they will.
Well, I like this because it takes two different perspectives. The first I see about toxic people, and the thing is, we've all had people like that in our life from our past and even in our present, and still yet to come in our future, actually. But I like the lines when you talk about how some people act like they know it all and they have to be in everybody's private life. because I have a lot of people like that, and it's none of their concern. If I don't stick my nose in your private life, why are you in mine? It would be the better question, as both of you. I've learned how to distance myself from negativity, and I do that quite well even now. That's why I'm a very silent and private person, because it's easier. And as you said, too, that the charade, it does get tired. Sometimes certain people, they do suck the life out of you. They do. And when you see through it, you try the best that you can to navigate through, or you let them go. But then I also see that the one stanza speaks about society itself when you talk about parents are crying and millions are dying and children are slain, and ignorance is not a solution. That could be as a whole as well. Ignorance is not a solution. But sometimes when a person doesn't see things for what they are, it's not always ignorance. Sometimes it's turning a blind eye because they don't know what to do. But sometimes it's ignorance because they think it will fix itself, or they just are not smart enough to see it.
Yeah.
You ask so many times, nobody helps you. You just say, screw it.
Yeah.
It's
pretty cool, right? It has a lot of meaning to it.
Thank you.
Thanks for bringing.
And there's, I think there's a difference too between people that are legit, like really in it to get you, to get you. They're undermining their codes, and then there's just people that are just idiots. You know what I mean? So, but either way, they still suck the life out of you. So, thank you. I'll shut up.
Thank you. It's a cool right, it really is.
Thank you. But I look at it now, it's funny, 2 years later, and I go, ooh, Lord, this needs help. I'm like, I need to fix this and that. So it's good to know that you've learned something along the way.
Oh, yeah. We never stop learning. That's the good part.
Yeah.
Or else we'd be walking around ignorant.
Yep.
Sometimes I am anyway.
No.
Mm-hmm.
On purpose.
On purpose, yeah. Sometimes that's better.
What?
Randall always says the poem's never finished, just keeps writing itself. I'll go with that.
It's true. It's true.
That is true, because if I am not fixing it, then I'm adding more to it.
Yeah.
I did that recently to an FPP. I almost rechanged it around completely and turned it into 500 words.
Oh, I know. I've almost done that a few times, too. Don't you hate when you fiddle with it so much? It's a totally different poem. You're like, damn, why did I even touch it?
Yeah, I know. But then there were certain elements that you still wanted to keep in there while adding to it. So it's tricky.
Yeah. I have a tendency to go crazy when I should have just left it alone.
Yeah. Okay, though.
How are we doing, hon?
This, and then you, and then me if you want, and then we done.
Okie doke. 3 more to go.
Yeah, I was wondering, you want to use that?
Sky, do you feel like reading?
Yeah, I'll read. I'll read for you. Okay. Spirit House. Oh, sounds promising. Spirit House by Mary Ann Winters. You've never seen this house before. It's lost, abandoned on a shore. The rain is falling, tear-stained brine, lying within these walls of mine. See how all the charred remains, burnt back, black strands of wired veins, now circle rooms, nervous vines, lie within these walls of mine. Smiles of cracks above the door are stretching on the house's maw, concrete snapping along the spine that lied within these walls of mine. The other secret left to find will never leave the brickwork mind. The owner's past is now a shrine. It lies within these walls.
Awesome read. I like this. It makes me think of how every house has its ghosts, or every house has its own story.
Yeah.
It also made me think that this would have been a great poem for when we did season 1 of American Horror Story, actually. But yeah, this is an excellent write. HM winner in the contest. Sky, since you read it, what'd you think?
I thought it was a brilliant piece. I knew right from the beginning it was going to be good, and I wasn't disappointed. So I'm glad. I loved the repetition of these walls of mine. I absolutely thought it was brilliant. The rhyme scheme, the flow of it, it was written in a very particular way, and I really enjoyed it. But you know what I thought was really, really clever was that she left out the end of the piece as if you know, they're not just walls of hers, because there are many people, you know, they're claimed by many people, and you know, when a writer can bring across a message like that and a point like that without actually explaining it, but just doing something a poetical twist by just literally just dropping, and you want to say those lines because you've said them so many times, but it's interesting just to pause there. And it really makes it stand out even more, because it might have been, you know, if there wasn't that repetition there, the ending wouldn't have been so effective. And to me, personally, I thought that it was symbolizing that they're not just her walls, and it wouldn't have been as effective without those repeating lines. I thought the language and the storytelling was excellent. Really well done.
Excellent comment.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm learning.
You're learning.
I think you just like. I think you just like.
He likes being represented.
I don't know what the word I'm looking for. I don't know what she just said either.
Yeah. You were cracking me up the night, Steve, when they were talking about food. You just kept going, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You were hungry, I could tell. You were like talking about I think you were thinking about ribs, I'm pretty sure.
Yes. Barbecue ribs. Before we get any more comments for this poem, I do want to read the quote that she wrote this to. The quote is, "Well, now, let me put it this way. If all the corpses buried around here were to stand up all at once, we'd have one hell of a population problem."
That's funny.
So yeah, I like the way she took it. Get some more comments.
Will the CDC finally be called in a form that they could actually cure the sickness?
I don't know.
It depends how you look at them.
Yeah. But what'd you think of the poem, Raz?
Yeah, well, other than a population problem, I'm seeing in Spirit House that this winter is shining on the very haunting of certain abandoned locations. Why the walls are really hiding more than it seems it had you intruded upon the desolated residency is because that it's literally haunted. And although that's not the theme of Lost Boys, haunting can take place in all kinds of locations in which people have long been gone away, and what was left was what their lives were like while they were staying there. And then the building was condemned, soaking up all that energy into the darkness of the lights out.
Awesome comment. And Boo, what did you think?
I like the way she does the house and the body are a lot alike when she says, see how charred remains, black strands are wires, so they're the veins. And now the nerves are the vines that lie in the walls of mine. And it just sounds like the whole neurological system. And then she's tying it to the house. She's probably not. I'm probably way off, but I think that's a pretty cool part of it. It's smiles of cracks above the floor, along the spire that lie to the walls of mine. And you don't even need the picture for this poem at all. I think it's really creative and it's good. And she grabs you from the first thing. You've never seen this house before, and you're like, oh, really? And then you want to know more. And I think this is really good, really unique. I've never read her before, but really good.
Awesome comment. And honey, what do you think?
Oh yeah, I have to agree with what everybody says. I thought this was, it's a cool brevity. She's probably this was the only quote that anybody chose. Well, she was
the only one that wrote that quote.
Yeah, because I know as with every conference, there's a pretty popular quote. But yeah, Spirit House. Every house, they all have their own secrets. If the walls could talk, the secrets they would tell.
Yeah.
And I don't think you'd want to know. Online.
Is my Bella still there?
Bella left.
Yeah, she left a while ago.
I wanted to tell her I collaborated with Mort one time. I wrote a blues number with one of his poems. It's called The Devil and I.
Oh, okay.
But I've been down that road with Mort.
Mort's a trip.
Is it my turn?
It's
my turn. I wrote to a quote that nobody else chose too, actually. I wrote to the quote, "There's one thing about living in Santa Carla I never could stomach. All the damn vampires."
There's just
and
everywhere
I call this,
sometimes. How do you get rid of them?
I call this, "They are everywhere." And I warn you, I went humorous.
You did.
Here they come again, wanting to suck the very thing that keeps me alive. And they want every last drop. I am constantly on the run, fearing for my families and my well-being. No matter where I go, they are there. My mouth hangs open in utter fear when I see them coming. At work, at home, on the radio, especially during dinner, it doesn't matter. They find me, brandishing a smile that hides fangs and bad intentions. Oh no, here they come again. No, I am not interested in a timeshare. Not interested in a used car warranty. I don't have any money. I'm interested in you leaving me the hell alone. Damn vampires.
Damn vampires.
No shit. There you go, Steve. Boom. So true. Don't you hate it when you're at the gas station, you see them coming, and you're like, oh.
Yeah, it's terrible. It is. They're just everywhere.
Yeah.
This is either
like,
angel
broke.
dust or hostile behavior from the rest of society, or real vampires that are after Steve. So, I mean, what's there to be humorous about, really?
And it's like when you go in the department store, they're spraying perfume all over you, and try this makeup, and they're following you around. They are vampires. I hate it. That's why I hate to go shopping.
Yeah.
I don't like to go where they bother you. You know.
The worst is when you're trying to go shopping and they have these little stands here and they're trying to get you to, like, your change electric providers or which bank you or something like that. It's like, I'm just here to shop.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes if you try to ignore them, they'll still want on the way out.
Yeah.
So, yeah. What do you think, Raz?
That it's possible both ways, that once again, why people feel harassed by modern day business is kind of vampiric, or someone could possibly be in an altered state of mind where what you have of normal human beings is sort of going through the exoskeletal plasma of where the real thing exists, coming after the person who wrote the poem. They're not completely paranoid.
Mm-hmm. You never know. Good point of view.
This is true. What do you think, Boo?
I think it goes along a lot with the emotional vampires, kind of. These are on the same category, kind of, sort of. Just kind of vampires, you know. And they're everywhere, man. It's like you don't even want to make eye contact when you go out, you know. I should just want to wear a sign that says, like, I'm broke, you know, just so they don't mess with you. It's like, damn, you know. And, I hate it. That's why I like to shop online, no joke. And it says a lot about society, and it's right on the money, in my opinion. Nice job. I thought you were going to go I thought you were going to say something like, leave me alone. Poor boy sandwiches, something like that.
Well, that's why we do our grocery shopping like at 5 a.m. in the morning because there's not a lot
Nobody
of people
there.
there. Yeah, once you get in, you get out,
I
you're
do
left
it
alone.
Yeah,
I like to do that too at times. Those are the best times.
Yeah.
Everybody's there.
You know, I was at the gas station, not the gas station, the market recently, and the manager actually came up to me and said, "Are you okay?" And I go, "Yeah, why? I'm fine." He said, "You've been in here for hours." And I'm like, "Well, I have no list." And he's like, "Oh." I was just wandering around aimlessly like an idiot. You know, it's bad when they come up to you.
Well, I'm going to get the last comment of the night from Sky.
You're not reading yours?
Yeah. We can tuck out.
Okay.
That's a lot of pressure. Whatever. I thought this was great. I wrote on your comment, and I'm sure you already seen, but I'm like one of those really, really bad millennials that whenever I see, I'm really antisocial. I know that I may seem like I like people here, but I actually am I have really bad social anxiety. So whenever there's a chance that I might have to talk to somebody because when you're walking somewhere, once you connect eyes, people want to talk to you, and I'm like, I don't want them to talk to me because I have too much social anxiety for that. So I'm like one of those really bad people that just look at their phones, like even if I'm not texting anybody, I just look at my phone like I'm involved in something, so that and that's so terrible. It is such a terrible habit, but it's just too much. It's too much to talk to people. But I thought this was really, really great. I thought this was really, really funny. I like that way you set it up. I liked your punctuation because I thought it brought such life to the piece. And I love the enthusiasm with which you read it. But if you weren't to read it to me, and I was to read it by myself, because of the line spacing and the punctuation and the way that it was kind of set up, I feel like if I read this out loud, I would really, really get involved in it just as much as you were while reading it. And I love that you went a little bit humor, and you kind of went it's kind of funny, and really, really well done. It just reminds me, never open your door when people are knocking and you're not expecting anybody.
Yeah. Well, they can't come in unless you invite them.
I know, yes, that is very true. That is very true and very clever. Yeah. I'll just start putting garlic bulbs around my door. Maybe people will get the hint that I don't want to be bothered. I'm so mean. People are like, "You're so nice." I'm like, "Yes, but I don't like anybody."
Yeah. I'm gonna have to change this poem now because of what you said, hon. I never even thought of that. I'm gonna have to put that in that stanza.
What?
No, I am not interested in changing my electric company.
Well, yeah, the one time electric provider.
Yeah.
It's about switching banks, but that one time, yeah.
I don't even answer my phone. I'm like, if you want to talk to me, you text me, and we'll talk. Like, it's really bad.
Robocalls, telemarketers, it's all about just taking advantage of people you don't know. So that's vampiric.
Exactly. But yeah, I don't answer my phone if I don't recognize the number, and if I don't recognize the number and it goes to voicemail and you don't leave a voicemail, I'm not calling you back.
My voicemail's not set up, and I don't pick up the phone even if I know you. Sounds bad.
I'll have to remember
Everyone's
that.
like, "You don't have a voicemail set up." I'm like, "Yeah, because I don't want to be bothered listening to 18 messages that I don't answer."
Well, you know what, Sky? I am exactly the same way. My cell phone, I don't have voicemail set up. So that way there's no excuse. I don't have to reach out if I don't want to. I do ignore the phone, even if it's family sometimes. I really just like to be left alone a lot of the time. But that's my
right. People get so mad. I'm like, you text me and you tell me when I'm ready to call you.
Yeah. It's terrible,
How
but it's
dare
true.
you think I'm at your beck and call? I'm such a terrible person. All right.
I get it. I do.
All right. Ready to be rebels?
Rebels? Well, no, first we got to do our announcement.
Okay, I'll do your announcements.
Okay. Okay, I want to say thank you to the following people who were on the board earlier. Jessica Rand, JEG325 was there for a little bit and slowly drowning. And I go through Russian Jessica Rand, JEG325 and slowly drowning. And of course, our columns: Sky, slowly drowning, Raz, Ella, Boo, Oak, Solstice, Deb, Sweet Pea. And then, of course, we also had rights from Hughes, Space 3, and Marianne Winters. And there were two that we couldn't get to because they said they were going to call. They did not call, so they did not give their consent, so we could not read them. So look at the top of the board before I can read it.
Unfortunately, that includes the gold winner from the contest, too. So check that one out.
Yeah.
Right.
And
tomorrow night's show?
Yeah, about upcoming shows.
Yes, tomorrow night's show we did have to switch to 10:30 p.m. Eastern because of my work schedule. And we also didn't want to interfere with Becky's show, Team of Voices. But tomorrow is Poetic Inklings, and it's rights on quotes from Emily Dickinson.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of good rights for that. It's just in the contest. It was hard to judge that contest. And then.
Well, yeah. I mean, for tomorrow's show, we've got 12 rights already. But I just want to say, since we're still talking about Wednesday, that Becky's show tomorrow in A Team of Voices is about the works of Shel Silverstein. Am I saying that right?
Yes.
So bring anything related to his rights.
The guy who writes Sylvia's Mother.
Yeah, or she said you could just come and read one of his poems that meant something to you.
I will. I'll read Sylvia's Mother.
I don't know.
No, you should read, Light in the Attic, Where the Sidewalk Ends.
Yeah.
No.
I remember those.
Sylvia's Mother.
Yeah. But that's a Team of Voices tomorrow at 9 p.m., and we're on at 10:30 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. And then tell us what's going on Thursday.
Thursday is the Movement of Sound, and that's going off at its regular time at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And this one is about the Doors, a poem written to the music of the Doors. And the last time I checked, there are still 4 open spots in the contest. There are still 4 open spots in the contest. If anybody wants to get over there and write to any Doors song, not just the 3 that are up there, it says in the contest, you can write to any Doors song you want. So check that out. And then Saturday, Sky.
Tell us about it.
Oh, I hate when you guys do that. The Shades of Night.
Love Street to Peace Frog.
You gotta give you a heads up. Shades of Night Part 2. We've got some good characters up there. I think we got like 2 versions of Nightshade. We got Nightcrawler. I still have a lot of room in my contest. So please, take a look at the topic board. The link of the contest is right there. You guys can write for it. You can write to the characters or to the quotes. If you write to the quotes, it doesn't have to be related to the character. Just come and bring up what you got. And so long as it has to do with the quote. So we'll be geeking out with some more comic books. Thank you.
Cool.
Awesome.
I had a prop to give. A plug-in. Can I do mine real quick? Lafayette from True Blood. I know you're dead now, and nobody wants to talk about it, but it probably really was to be. I'm sorry.
Awesome. All right. Now I'm going to get into next week's.
Well, real quick, Saturday's at 8 p.m. Eastern.
I did say 8 p.m. Eastern. I said
okay.
That.
And, oh, man, I am so ready for next Tuesday already.
We're really pumped for next Tuesday, yes. We binge-watched Season 2 of American Horror Story. That's why we were up so early or late the other day.
Yeah.
And we got, how many
of
folks
a mental asylum.
Yep.
Yeah, this one, I have got 26 quotes. I am not whittling this down. These are all epic. They are saying.
Is the contest open yet?
We're going
to set it up after the show.
Yeah.
So
Reserve
be ready
me a
for
spot.
that. Yeah. All right. Season 2 of American Horror Story is what the next Mortuary is about.
Yeah, 10:30.
And Sylvia's mother just told me we had 90 seconds left.
Well, no, I mean, they'll still keep us running, but anybody who's listening will be cut out. But we're done anyway.
We are done.
Yeah.
Now it's time to be rebels.
Rebel.
We're going to play the second best song from the soundtrack to The Lost Boys. Lost Boys.
Are you ready for me?
We're ready. So good night, everybody. Thanks for calling.
Yeah.
Good night, America.
Good night. I'm going to hit it.
Hit it. All right. That was Lost in the Shadows by Lou Gramm of Foreigner. Could you hear me talking over the song, Sky?
I thought for like a minute I heard a little bit of a voice, but not really, no. No.
Damn.
I was jamming out. I liked when you turned it up. Like, it was good, and I was, like, listening, but then you turned it up, and then I started dancing. When I say dancing, I mean, like, moving back and forth in a very unrhythmic beat, but that's dancing to me. That is not in my skill set, yeah.
Yeah.
I enjoyed
I
it,
wasn't
though.
that great of a dancer. Yeah, because we figured...
I liked when you turned it up, yeah.
Yeah, we don't like, because the copyright and stuff. Oh. We figure if we talk over the song some and kind of disrupt the integrity, maybe we'll be safe.
Yeah, but I told you, we're not going to be greedy.
Right, I know, we're not going to do it.
Yes, PC will be for you any month now, Steve. Don't worry.
Now it's back to Beethoven.
Back to Beethoven.
I
wow,
have some really, really great songs. I might rescind my offer on that. Well, I might leave that one, but I found a different, like, I found some really, really cool songs that and some love songs for that you might like, for beautiful love songs for yes, thank you, Synergy of Love. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to use them, but I was like, oh, this is really nice. I started looking for mine, but I kept on finding really dark ones and really loved ones, and I kept taking the links too.
Well, just send me the link.
Guy, I mean,
yeah.
To love so much, why do you admit having a kind of antisocial behavioral problem? Don't you really want to be loved?
I'd rather just be left alone. Yeah. I am very loved. I'm very loved, and I'm very social to people I know, just not strangers.
There you go.
Well, I understand that. I'm that way too.
Yeah, see. And the fact that when I'm at work, I have to be social with strangers. I don't when I'm not at work.
Yeah. Understandable.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to close down shop and maybe get some burritos.
Yeah, I'm starving. We have not really eaten the last day. I'm friggin' starving. Time to eat.
Disclaimer, vampires could be lab tests when you go visit the doctor sometime this year.
Yeah.
They
I
always
gotta go see the doctor.
draw blood.
Yeah, they do.
They do.
Yeah,
They're their own vampires.
Got a bruise on my arm to prove it.
Yeah, you do.
All right, guys, we're going to go. Thanks for hanging out.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Yep.
Tonight.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.